Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. Now, I got a new couch for my sunroom, right? You guys can't really see because the sun right now is unforgiving, okay? But she's very cute. She fit in perfectly. However, as you guys can see, the sun back here is pretty unforgiving during the winter time. So I tried to find like a, oh, let me move this way. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so I tried to find a spot that wasn't completely covered in sun or like I'm partially covered in sun. Anyway, the point is I tried. I'm sorry if the lighting in this video is absolutely horrid, but I didn't want to not film the video for you guys. So today's video is going to be about air purifying plants, and it was actually a video request that I got. And some people think that air purifying plants is a thing and some people don't, just because the amount of air purifying plants that you would have to have per 100 square foot area is pretty substantial. Like back here in my sunroom, obviously the air is going to be a lot more pure than it is in my bathroom, for instance, that only has my one snake plant in it. So the more plants you have in a room, the better the air purification will be. And the bigger the leaves on said plants, the better, because the surface area influences the rate of air purification. So I have some huge plants. As you guys will see, I have some smaller plants. And then also this is a list of 15 plants. I don't have all of them. So the ones I don't have, I'll show on the screen for you guys so you can have a visual of it. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I'm not moving my ivy because she's connected to the wall, and that's just a whole nother thing. So in 1989, NASA released a study saying that plants are able to reduce indoor air pollutants such as benzene and formaldehyde. And the plants that are on this list are ones that are able to do that at a higher rate than other plants are able to, because obviously all plants do some kind of air purification because they all go through photosynthesis, which is just the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen. But like I said, the plants on this list just do it at a faster rate than other ones do, which is why they would be better suited for air purification purposes. Now, without further ado, let's just jump right into the list. The first plant on this list is lavender. Usually it's not considered an indoor house plant. It can survive indoors under the right conditions, and it will need bright indirect light, and then you water it when the soil is slightly dry. Next on the list is a lady palm, and it is fairly easy to grow. It's beautiful, it's elegant, and it needs bright indirect light, and you water when the top inch of soil is dry. Third one on the list is a rubber plant, and it has large shiny leaves. I love this plant because the color of the leaves is not like a typical green like most plants are. It adds a strong statement to your indoor plant collection, in my opinion. And it does need bright light and light constant moisture, so you can mist it every day. That's probably going to be the best bet for it. Fourth one on the list is this beauty right here, and it's called the Areca palm. It can reach up to 6 or 7 feet tall if you give it the right conditions to grow in. And it needs bright light and constant moisture, but don't let it sit in extra water. So it's better to bottom water it, because then you could just stick it on the bottom and then let it wait till it's fully watered. Or make sure that you keep this one in a pot with the drainage hole so that way all the water can drain out of it. Next on the list, I'll put in a video because, like I said, I'm not going to take her off the wall, but it is the English ivy. It's probably one of the easiest plants to grow, in my opinion. It looks good in hanging baskets. It looks good in pots. It looks good mixed in with other plants. It's a very versatile plant, and it's pretty easy to care for. It does need moderate light in the winter, and then bright direct light in the summertime. And you want to make sure that you don't let the soil dry out. It likes to be pretty moist. And I do have a ivy plant care video that I'll link here for you guys to watch as well. Number 6 on the list is the Boston fern, and I feel like she is the queen of houseplants. I feel like everyone knows the Boston fern. They're classic, they're inexpensive, but they can be a bit of a diva indoors sometimes. but they do need a lot of bright filtered light, and they need to be misted daily. So if you have like a mister, go ahead and go over its leaves every day, or just spray the top of the leaves. Or you can also put pebbles on the bottom of the plant and then water on top, and then just let it sit there, and then it'll kind of mystify the water and take it in that way as well. Number 7 is the Chinese evergreen. It is easy to grow, but it hates cold drafts, so make sure you keep it away from vents, windows, all that jazz. It is a low light plant, so it can tolerate low light conditions, and it my earring just flew out of my and it prefers its soil slightly moist. It's a snake plant. And this is like, I don't know, I just love this plant. It's so easy, guys. She just sits in my bathroom windowsill and just lives her best life, okay? It's very easy to care for. The sword-like leaves, I feel like, are what make the plant so fancy. It's also called mother-in-law's tongue. It does have different names, and it's really hard to kill. Like, you cannot kill this plant if you absolutely tried. She is hardy, okay? Especially if you are a newer plant owner. Snake plant is honestly going to be like the one plant I recommend to beginners. But yeah, perfect for beginners. It needs a bright indirect light. It can also tolerate lower light conditions, but obviously if you put it in a lower light condition, it's just going to grow at a slower pace. And then it only needs to be watered when the soil is dry. It is more succulent like in nature, so it doesn't like to be overwatered. Number 10 on the list is the Jerkina. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put the name on the screen. But these plants are also very good. So various species of this are on the air pollutant plant list. They're all very easy to grow, and most of them need bright indirect light, and they prefer to keep their soil slightly moist. So number 10 on the list is the lacy tree philodendron. The leaves on this plant are absolutely gorgeous in my opinion, and they can tolerate moderate light conditions and water when the first few inches of soil is dry. So basically just stick your finger in, and if it goes up to here and the soil is dry, then I would recommend watering it. This plant can be prone to root rot, so you want to be careful that you're not putting it in an overwatering situation. Next on the list is the Dieffenbachia. I don't know, guys. Dieffenbachia. I should probably learn how to pronounce all of these plants before I go making videos on them. However, this is the next one on the list, and you can see it kind of has green on the outside and this like beautiful variegation down the middle. Love it. So this is a beautiful plant. However, the sap that is inside of it does contain crystals that can irritate mucous membranes. So if you have plants or if you have little ones, just make sure that you're keeping this one out of reach of your fur babies and your human babies. And it needs moderate light and keep the soil moist but not soggy. Number 12 on the list is rosemary. This culinary herb has a pleasant piney scent. I love it. It's probably one of my favorite herbs to use in the kitchen. It needs bright direct light, and then allow the top inch of soil to dry out prior to watering it. Spider plant. Now, we're not going to talk about the status of my spider plant, okay? I will link a video of what my baby used to look like before. However, I had moved it to the top of my kitchen cabinets, and it just like damn near killed the plant. It's just not. It's coming back slowly, but I think it was on top of the cabinets above my stove, and I think it was just not good for it. So she looks a little depressing right now. But go watch that video and get the real tips that you need from there. But they are pretty tolerant of all sorts of lighting. It really is an OG plant, and I feel like everyone's mom in the 70s used to have a spider plant. And the soil likes to be kept pretty moist, but do not overwater it because it is prone to root rot. Number 14 on the list is pothos, and this is probably honestly any kind of pothos is going to be good. They're super easy to grow, kind of like ivy, where they look good in hanging baskets, they look good in pots by themselves. They just get really long. Mine's is still pretty small. I only had it for like about 2 months, but it has had substantial amount of growth in those 2 months and already needs to be repotted. So there's different varieties of pothos. There's marble queen, there's golden pothos, There's devil's ivy, pothos. There's a lot of different or different species of pothos, but pothos in general, it's going to be very good at air purifying. They need moderate to bright light, and they prefer to dry out in between watering. And then the last one on the list is peace lily. Now, mine's is very tiny. I need to repot it. A lot of my plants need to be repotted. That's a lot of soil and a lot of pots that I need to buy. So I've kind of been procrastinating on it, but I kind of should get to it. They actually produce white flowers. Now, she already produced all her flowers. I don't believe they'll have any during the winter. I'm not really gonna hold my breath on it. But it's pretty fuss free. I have mine in my bedroom and it's low light in there, and it still had new growth and put out flowers and everything like that. It hasn't really seemed to have any issues, but it needs low to moderate light and allow the soil to dry out in between waterings, kind of like you would do a succulent almost, especially in the winter time. Like I watered this like a week and a half ago, and it's still pretty moist. And that's it, guys. That's all for this video. Please let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video, and let me know what other video recommendations you guys might have. I am going to do one on my hydroponic system because I am pretty impressed with it so far. So once I get some fruit on my tomatoes, then I'll make a video for you guys and give you my opinion on this specific brand, since that's what I'm using. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.